Let's say you have a daughter or a son of 11 years of age. And the point would be to send them to a summer camp in another country. If everything goes well, 3 months before the departure, you will meet the 21 years old adult who will be responsible for your child in their summer adventure. To what kind of person would you entrust the life of your child for their 4 weeks adventure? Would you be able to put the life of your child in the hands of a complete stranger? I know, it's crazy. Parents around the world have been doing this for the past 70 years. Let me explain you why. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chanks, and I wanted to make a follow-up video because if you haven't seen it, in this video, I explain how I got involved in this marvelous organization called CISV, Children's International Summer Villages. And I wanted to kick off this follow-up video saying something straight and clear. I believe my volunteering is not for everybody. It should, but unfortunately, it isn't. Let me give you a little bit of context of what will be happening to your daughter or son when going to these CISV activities. So they will be part of a delegation of 4 children, and there will be one adult they call leader, and it will be the responsible of the whole delegation. And they will travel to another country, and they will be in this campsite for 4 weeks with another 11 delegations, okay? They will have daily activities in order to achieve our educational content. But please do not imagine like first thing in the morning, we will have this history lesson or geography lesson about anything. No. We pass this educational content through games and simulations. Just imagine, carajo, just imagine your child having to live for 4 weeks with people of all over the world. What would happen to your children? Eating a different food, having a different schedule, having to do different activities that they are not used to? What would happen to their mental flexibility? What would happen to their character? What would happen to their critical thinking? We're talking about an 11 years old that maybe will have to communicate with other people that they do not know the language, have different costumes, they have different values. What would happen? Now that we understand, like, let's say the background of what would happen with the children in this camp, now let's try to put ourselves in the shoes of all the adults that are responsible of this camp to happen, to organize these activities, to make these educational moments happen. It's an immense responsibility. Probably you are taking children that it will be the first time that they go out of the country by themselves. Maybe they will be homesick. Maybe they will be, of course, missing their food, their parents, their relatives, their friends. And you are there with them outside of their comfort zone. But remember, also the adult might be the first time making this type of activity. And also they will be for the first time having this huge responsibility of at least these 4 children. And it's just insane. The objective of the organization is to educate and inspire actions for a more just and peaceful world. So why as a parent or why as an adult give your free time to such a complex and difficult activity? I mean, the amount of risks in the table just for having this summer activity for your children, I believe it's quite high. And often people ask me why I have been giving my free time to this organization for the past 14 years. I asked some friends inside of my organization to send me some questions in order to attempt to explain to you guys why somebody like me or like my friends been doing this for so many years inside this organization. So thank you for your help. The first question is, how are you feeling after your first CISV camp? Jesus, I have to be honest. I was devastated. And this was the first sign or the first, let's say, red flag that this organization was quite special. how come I could be so emotionally devastated of leaving all the people that I have met for just 4 weeks? And if you're a CSVer, you might relate to this. Most of the times, not always, but most of the times when you are leaving the campsite, when you are finishing the experience, everybody's crying. Everybody is genuinely sad because they are leaving their new friends. How can it be that you are genuinely suffering for leaving people that you just known for the past 4 weeks? It was mind-blowing for me. And it's just not by the departure, but because when I arrived to Mexico after my first experience in Japan, I was genuinely, we call it camp sick, because we are missing every single thing that we were doing, all the activities, the lullabies, the meals together, everything. But this emotional devastation took me to analyze what happened, because I wasn't the only one, okay? So what happened to me and the others in order to have this extremely strong rapport among us? Because it took weeks for me to just, let's say, turn back to reality, to my normal life without feeling sad because of my experience in the summer. It was mind-blowing. So yeah, to answer that, I was devastated, but that was the key. That was the key moment to analyze what the heck happened in order for me to have this emotional response. It's beautiful. And as I said in my prior video, it changed my life because I understood the power of the activities inside CSV. Another interesting question my friends sent me is, what is the event that most changed or shocked you during a CSV activity? It was 2011. I was staff of a Step Up program in Mexico. Now in this program, we are not dealing with children of 11 years old. We are dealing with adolescents of 14 and 15 years old. So in these camps, every delegation prepare what we call a cultural activity. It is a moment, an activity, a simulation or whatever that will show a little bit or a piece of their culture. So the Colombian delegation approached us as a staff to tell us that their idea of cultural activity was to simulate a kidnapping inside of the camp. We were in Mexico. They were the Colombian delegation, and one of these delegates was the son of a very important politician in Colombia. So it fit perfectly. And we say, yes, I believe we were in Mexico. It's not, it's not far from the reality. So yeah, we accepted. We, of course, talked with the rest of the adults. We planned everything to the minimum detail. In fact, we were so pumped about the activity that we, as adult group, decided not to kidnap just one participant. We decided to kidnap 3 of them. That would be one of the Colombian boy, one Brazilian, and one Mexican. The activity went too well. We, as an adult group, did everything that we could in order to make this activity as realistic as possible. But why I choose this as the activity or moment that most shocked me or changed me during all my experience in CISV? A little premise for you. When we are running our activities in CISV, if it is, let's say, serious activity in which our participants have the time to reflect and to think about certain aspects of their own lives, etc., we have at the end of each activity what we call a debriefing. A moment in which they can express how or why they were feeling that way and what they observe, etc. And this is the moment in which we, as adults and facilitators, we help them to achieve the educational objective that we had for that activity. So generally, these debriefings, we can be talking, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that will be it. After the cultural activity of the delegation of Colombia, we spent talking for more than 90 minutes of what had happened in that activity. That shocked me. That absolutely changed me. In that moment, I understood the infinite possibilities that we, as an adult group, as volunteers in CISB, the infinite capacity that we have when dealing with adolescents of 14 and 15 years of age. It was amazing. We shared, we cried together. And I have to be honest, after the activity that night with my group of staff, I talked to them and I said, I believe we crossed the line. I believe we pushed them too much. And that was the general sensation of all of us. For my surprise, by the end of the camp, when we make the general evaluation of everything that happened in those 3 weeks, when we ask all the participants what was their favorite activity in the entire camp, for the big majority of the participants was the simulation of the Colombian delegation. That moment, I lost the fear of pushing the limits of the adolescent, of taking them so far away from their comfort zone that they have this opportunity of growth. They have this opportunity of self-reflecting and confronting this emotion with total strangers that they met some days or some weeks before. That was just amazing. Another question is, what personal changes do you think happened thanks to volunteering at CISV? The World Economic Forum makes a prediction of what will be the top 10 skills most desired by companies in 2025. Every year, we are handling adolescents and children from more than 70 countries all around the world. There are so many things happening inside these camps that the leadership is not just coming from the adults, but they are also developing this influence among the others. The beautiful thing is that when you make the participants reflect in what is going on in their minds and their emotions, they can apply it not just while we are at the camp in this other country. They should apply the exact same thing while they're at home, while they're at school. This is the powerful thing of this organization, that the things that they are developing in these camps, they should be transporting these feelings, these skills, this everything to their regular lives. Just to connect with these top 10 skills of the World Economic Forum, why I've been doing this for the past 14 years? Well, there are skills that we are organically developing since the creation of this organization. Why I would send my child or why I would participate as an adult? Why? Because I am developing these skills that in the end are so damn useful for any type of company. Think about it. And this is the other thing. You don't have to be part of my organization. There are hundreds of organizations all around the world in which you can volunteer. You can do something. You can help other people and you can still develop all these important skills that maybe it will open certain doors in your future, that maybe it will make you understand what is the type of work that you would like to do. Another marvelous question. How would you be now if you've never known CISV? For sure, I wouldn't be here in Italy making this video for you. I'd probably take a different professional path. I will be developing my professional life probably in the chemical engineering world. I have to say I'm the worst chemical engineer of the planet. For sure, I wouldn't be this open-minded. I wouldn't be this conscious and this aware. I wouldn't be this obsessed of doing something to dramatically change the education of the entire world. Other people also ask me why I am doing CISV and not other type of volunteering. And after so many years of doing it, there's a special evidence that what we are doing is actually having a positive impact in other human beings. And what do I mean by this? When I started my volunteering as an adult in this organization, I met 11 years old children that started, let's say, their adventure in CISV. And after so many years, I've seen this positive impact, this change in their mentality, that they are now willing to do the same, let's say, sacrifice or the same volunteering in this organization. How CISV has influenced your personal growth? Since 2008, CISB has been the only constant in my life. I finished my career, I changed country, I got married, I got divorced, I found so many different jobs in the middle, and the only constant has been CISB. The person that I am now, it is basically because of my experiences in CISB. And everything started with the willing of helping other people to have a good time, with the willing of having other people to grow and to understand. Every single human being is able to teach and to show something that might be helpful for another human being. Every single one of us. And CISB, it's just the perfect opportunity to do so. Doesn't matter if you are 11 years old, 14 years old, or 25 years old. This opportunity of just showing your true self, there might be an appreciation of other human beings. So just to quick answer the original question of the video, why parents all around the world have been doing this for so many years. I try to be pretty clear of all the things that are happening inside our activities. I try to be pretty exhaustive on what are the positive consequences as a child, as an adolescent, or as an adult of doing these types of activities. If I have children, they for sure will be in a CISB activity. They might like it. They might not, but at least the seed in their brain will continue to grow over the years. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys in the next one. Ciao.